Do you suffer from repeated unwanted thoughts? Do you suffer from repeated unwanted thoughts? I don't want to think about that, but it just keeps coming back in my mind. Every time I think about it, I think Leroy. When I think about doing better, this fear keeps coming up around me, and I get nervous every time I think about it. Do you suffer from anxiety? You're always worried, always stressed out. You don't have a house. You got an apartment with an old car. You ain't got no reason to be stressed out. You ain't got no kids. You just worry about you. Shh. If you don't go sit down somewhere, well, I have my fur baby. Do you suffer from unwanted thoughts? Notice, you should be able to control your thinking. So whenever you can't control your thinking, you say, wait a minute. Something that God gave me called this beautiful mind is not working against me. And I can't control him or her. And they got me up at night, and they got the same thoughts coming in my mind, and I can't make it stop. How did we take God's greatest gift, our creativity, and turn it into a serial killer? Because the only thing I can create now is monsters in my mind. And the only thing I expect from life is pain. And I have a wait for it mentality. I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. I know eventually things are going to fall apart. And I'm just waiting on it. I'm just waiting on it. Well, Dr. Moody, how do you explain the fact that the things I worry about oftentimes happen? So I'm not worried about stuff that doesn't happen. I say I worry about it, and then it continues to happen. I keep getting hurt. My relationships keep failing. I keep losing jobs. I keep doing this. So, Dr. Moody, that's not a unrealistic thing, because I worry about it and it keeps happening. Well, do you want me to explain to you psychologically why that keeps happening? Why? Let me tell you why. Write this down. God has given you the most creative tool in the universe. God has given you the most creative tool in the universe. You know what that's called? Your mind. It is the most creative tool that's in the universe. So much so that if whatever you imagine, your mind can create. And whatever thoughts you play out, your mind will say, I'm not going to let you be crazy. You say we're going to get fired? Let me create the scenario that will bring your vision to pass. Your mind has the creative capacity to bring to pass whatever you envision in your head. Today, we fly in an aluminum cylinder, oftentimes held together by duct tape at 700 miles an hour at 500 feet in the air. And we get in and go to sleep. And it's off of somebody saying, I know we can fly. And man with no wings and no feathers figured out how to put all of this ingenuity together. And it wasn't an aeronautical engineer that figured out how to fly it. You know who it was? Some bicycle guys. So some bicycle guys took some ideas and said, if this works plus this, I think we can make this fly. And today, because of the Wright brothers, we get on Delta, American, Continental, Northwest, Southwest, Spirit. Don't lie, Spirit. Don't try to be front, Spirit. But listen, and you say, and with your life on the line, I want to show you how much faith you have. With your life on the line, you try to find the cheapest ticket. Woo! Wait, listen, it's a deal. 103, round trip, book that. And wait a minute. And so you take your entire life and you put it on the line for the cheapest ticket. Why? Because you believe in the creativity of the mind. And you say, that plane ain't gonna crash. What's the probability? Am I making sense? And so you trust the creative capacity of the mind. When many of us were little, we watched the Jetsons. And the Jetsons, they were getting little cars, and they wouldn't drive, and they would just jump in there, and they'd be talking. And now we get in the driverless cars. And we're like, ooh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. And you take your hand out, like, ooh, I'm nervous. And so you're going down the road at 70 miles an hour with your hands off the wheel and excited because you believe in the creativity of the mind. And you trust it. Am I making sense? So could you imagine now, that means our mind can create a plane. Our mind can put up systems where our cars don't need drivers. Our mind can build a city. Can build a city. I'm going to say it again. Can build a city called Dubois out of a desert. And say, hey, we think we're going to make another city. In the middle of the desert and water, we just going to build something, and we're going to build it up. We're going to move enough dirt to make a place. And now you change your address. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And move, and many of you want to go visit on something that was created in the mind. Am I making sense? So think about this, saints. My mind can create all this stuff. So if I think about I'm going to get fired, then your mind will say, you're so tired. You're so sleepy. You don't have no energy. You don't feel like doing that. And your productivity will do what? Goes down. And then you say things like this, I'm just not feeling it. I think the Lord is telling me it's my season to move on. And the Lord say, I didn't tell you nothing. Your mind told you. Listen, when you hear about the flu increasing and RSV going around, when you see it on the news, and you be watching the news, you see it on your feed, and then you're like, I'm just feeling a little, something in my chest. And you got to be careful. Why? Because that means that now you have things that are happening in your life that are created. So your mind is saying, I'm going to create this situation. I'm not saying you're not sick. I'm not saying that you're never really sick. But I'm saying that what happens is your mind says, I'm a slave to your thoughts. So the most creative tool you ever got that God gave you was your mind. So much so, man of God and woman of God, that there are people that you got with that when you saw them, you said, I'm going to get with them. When you caught a glimpse of them, you said, yep, I'm going to get that. No, you said it. And you went about making that happen. And some of us say that was a poor decision. But it was. Why? Because you saw them, and then your mind started creating scenarios. And you became whatever you need to become, and you appeared wherever you need to appear. Oh, my God. Oh my God. You go to, didn't I remember you? Didn't we? Do you? Why? Because you made it happen. Am I making sense? So I want you to understand something. That means this, write this down. So I become whatever I think. So now I want you to ask yourself, now I want you to just write this down real quick. And I don't want you to show anybody. Just write down the 3 most frequent negative thoughts you have. The 3 most frequent negative thoughts you have. The 3 most frequent negative thoughts you have. If you're at home, write these down. 3 most frequent negative thoughts I have. Just write these down. I'm not going to. I never will be able to. I'm going to get fired. I can't do this. Whatever the 3 most frequent negative thoughts you have. I'm going to gain the weight back. Whatever the 3 most frequent negative thoughts you had. I want you to write those down. I want you to write those down. Just 3 of them. Just 3 of them. I won't spend a lot of time with this, because I want to show you how I want to. Because what I want to do is introduce you to your vision. Those 3 thoughts are now telling you, your mind, what to manifest. Those 3 thoughts are now active. They're active in your mind, telling your body, telling your heart, telling your will, telling your emotions, telling your activities. They are now engaged in a creative process to bring that to pass. Now, I want you to write down this. Now, I want you to write down your top 5 positive thoughts. Your top 5 positive thoughts. Now, what's interesting is the minute I say 5, y'all say 5? So notice, you said 5 for the positive thoughts. When I said 3, nobody said anything. I say, oh, just 3? I can put down a bunch of them. But 5 positive thoughts. So I want you to understand this. If you have a hard time with positive thoughts, now I want you to hear me now. This is helping you. If you have a hard time picking out 5 positive thoughts, but it was easy thinking the 3 negative thoughts, you got to understand, wait a minute. I'm using my most creative tool against me. I am misappropriating the greatest tool God ever gave me. I could be using this to do all kinds of things, but instead, I am using this mind of mine to produce what future?
Thank you for worshiping with us today. If you liked this message, you can find the rest at cmllcstore.com. We invite you to join us again for our extraordinary worship services every Sunday at 10:30 a.m., Sundays at 4 p.m., and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central, where Dr. Moody teaches how to understand the Bible, and you can get all your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you. We ask that you subscribe to The Rock ATX on YouTube and follow The Rock ATX on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all The Rock is doing. You can also get connected on our website at therockatx.org. Again, thank you for worshiping with us, and be blessed.